So this video I'm going to comment on I don't learn from my mistakes and I feel worthless because of it. Hello, my name is Augustus and I learn about social barriers and norms to help people become their true self in life. I'm so glad you're with me on this journey of growth. So my topic today will be pretty much commenting on the statement, I don't learn from my mistakes and I feel worthless. So I'm gonna start by sharing a little experience from myself, a little of my story. That I remember the first time that I was just taking a math exam and I failed it. It wasn't my first one, but it was one of my more important math exams. And for me, I just couldn't believe it because for me, I always been at least pretty decent in math. But it's like, I just literally couldn't believe that that was my test. It's like, did I really do this badly? Did I really failed to the point where like the score is so low that I don't like it? But for me, the part that really took a hit was I really felt like I was less of a person because of it. And yeah, I felt worthless. My identity was shaken because I always identify myself as someone who was very good in math, but I'm apparently not. So here in my statement, I feel like this is the kind of things that I'm learning through life, and that this failure in my math exam actually helped me because I later learned on more so in life that you will fail a lot of times, and that these failures are things that to help you grow and help you learn. So they're not actually bad things as much as at first it felt horrible. Like it feels like, man, I'm just here in the bottom of the ocean, distant from everyone else, and man, I can never raise my head again. I can never walk normally in front of other people, and other people are just gonna think that I'm this worthless person because I didn't do well on my math exam. And I know that sounds silly, but this is what we think about a lot of the things that we have in life, things that we take in and put our identity in. And I really doubt that anyone wants to feel worthless, and everyone wants to not be able to improve on mistakes. But how do we change that? How exactly do we change that? And I want to share with you some of the few tips that I learned. So the first one I want to talk about, this one I wrote down even as a question, but it's more so like a rhetorical question. It's kind of challenging you. And it says, you want to change, but are you committed to change? Yeah. The first part of anything, any kind of change, at least from recovering from my mistakes, is I want change to happen. And am I committed to that change? The thing is, we're going to fail every time, but the thing is, when we want to make a change, it means there's no turning back. We go forward. This is the decision I make, and I'm going to follow through with it, no matter what happens. And this doesn't mean like I'm never going to fail, that there will never be times when I just fall off the tracks and then get back on, but it means that I'm focused on achieving that new objective. I'm focused on changing myself. I'm no longer going to go back to the past. So not learning from your mistakes is one thing, and then feeling worthless is another. But often they're tied together. If you don't want to feel worthless from making the same mistakes over and over, then take some time and really make that change worth it. If you're going to spend time on it, then make it worth it. Because you only have one life. Your time is not rewinding anytime soon or at all. So right now, you're only getting older. We're all getting older by the second. And if we want change, start now. And make that change worth it. Make that change an actual change, a clear, concise decision. And then move forward. So that's pretty much all that's that point. Or else I'm going to explain the definition of insanity, which is doing the same things again and again and again and expecting a different outcome. We don't want to be insane. We want to be someone that's doing the same thing once, again, and then saying, oh, okay, maybe I should change something. All right, I'm going to change something, and I'm going to keep on moving towards that goal. But I'm not going to do the same things over and over again and then feel miserable and worthless for my life. Now, the next point I have is we have to change the way we think. The way we think will help us change the way we see the world. Because right now, when we're emphasizing on constantly the fact that I don't learn from my mistakes and I feel worthless, you're affirming that you're a person that doesn't learn from your mistakes. So by just saying that statement, you are telling yourself that you're a person that doesn't change, that a person that can't change, and that the person's identity is in it, and that you are a person that cannot learn from mistakes, which is not true. You're perfectly well a person that can change from mistakes. And so you need to start to ask different questions to kind of help your mind change in a different way. Because when something happens, we immediately ask questions or statements like, oh yeah, dude, I'm just this way. I don't learn from mistakes. This is just who I am. We have to change that into a mindset where we start saying, what can I learn from these mistakes? We have to kind of shift that mentality so we can really learn from the failures. And with it, you'll start to be able to see and observe all the different small things that we can do to kind of make ourselves better. We can learn to kind of see the different opportunities that lies within it. Because if we focus on just having a closed mind, we're not going to try to do anything different. It's just like saying, oh, I'm never going to get out of this box, so I'm not even going to try. But rather, for a person that is optimistic, open-minded, asking the right questions, these person can find different ways to change the results that they have. And I'm guessing we want to be one of them too. Yeah, of course we do want to be one of them. Because we want to be someone that can go ahead and go through problems and be able to change and be able to embrace this life so that we don't have to feel like someone that's failed all the time. We don't, because we're not a failure. We have to understand that the feeling of failure is only there because we don't really understand what that emotion means. Failures reveal our shortcomings so that we can work on it so that we can get even better. So yeah, thank you, failures, for coming here so that I can learn a lot more about myself and what I can do more. So start by changing that mentality. And here's my last point. I love 3 points. So this one is, if you're not preparing to win, then it's not going to happen. Because when you have this concept of saying, wow, okay, I want to read 3 books, and you grab the books, you're saying, all right, I'm going to read 20 pages today, all right, and then you grab the book, first day, and then you're doing pretty well, and then second day, suddenly you grab the book, and it's like 11 o'clock at night, and you're thinking about like, oh, okay, man, dude, I forgot to read this book. And you take it and then you open it and try to start reading, but then the background, other people are watching movies, the neighbors are loud, and you also you haven't ate dinner, so there's like a lot of things that are going on in your life. They're unplanned for because you're not planning something for yourself to finish this book. So if you don't do that, if you don't plan things out, you're not preparing for yourself for success, then you're not going to get there. You won't finish the books. By like day 3, you'll be like trying to find a schedule, trying to squeeze in some time just to be able to read that book. So some of the questions that maybe we want to consider when we want to plan to win is that, let's take the book example. We can ask questions like, where's a quieter place that I can read it? Or what's the time that I can best absorb all the knowledge that is inside this book? Where's the location that can best help me concentrate? Do I have pen and paper for notes? Like, these are all questions of preparation, preparing yourself to win. So when you can and you get into that moment trying to get things done, you won't automatically just give in because the environment's way too bad. And with that, we will fail less. So when we have all these different statements like, I don't learn from my mistakes, this is the starting point of learning from your mistakes. Is preparing not to make mistakes, preparing for all the things beforehand so that you can mark them off and you'll even make less mistakes. And once you get like a few small wins under your belt, you'll be good and ready to go. So plan to win, schedule things, plan things, and things might not always go according to the plan, but not having a plan will make things not work. So these are some of the things that I learned from my journey, and hopefully maybe you can relate to some degree. And if you have different experiences or you have comments about the points that I made, yeah, please, you can feel free to share them down below. So with that being said, stay strong, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. And I learned about social barrier and learn about social barriers, and norms